our coaches' time. It's now time to turn our attention to commissioners South Conference as well as ASUN Conference. Follow up on our announcement earlier this morning about our new partnership together. Guaranteed football home with Big South Conference members and play scholarship football. I'd like to welcome in Kyle Kallander, ASUN Commissioner Ted Gumbart. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mark. Thank you.
Good morning, Mark. Glad to be with you.
Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Kyle, I'll go ahead and let you start, make an opening remark. Then Ted, if you'd like to follow with anything, any statements you have, we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll move into questions. Again, those on the call, begin entering our questions. Press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of the browser and click raise hand. So we'll go ahead and fill up the questions too, but we'll begin first with comments from both commissioners. Go ahead, Kyle.
Great, thanks, Mark, and thank you all for being on the call this morning, covering Big South Conference football and for the FCS as well. A couple things I want to just mention first off this morning. Obviously, we're very excited about the partnership. We're grateful to the membership of both Big South and the Atlantic Sun for their support of what we're trying to do here. I feel it really pay big dividends, certainly for Big South football membership. Likewise, not all head. In addition to that, I think it's important to note effort that's been put in place here to collaborate creatively on finding solutions to college athletics. Certainly something of us, obviously, we could not do it without important collaboration from a whole host of institutions, CEOs, athletics directors, football playing members, non-football playing members, everybody coming together to really find a solution, an important football membership opportunity for our football athletes. So we're very excited about that. We think it's the way of the future. Collaboration is important for college athletics, especially level of sport. It's going to go beyond just membership, other factors involved, finance, scheduling, potential marketing. So it's really something Ted and I have talked a lot about. Feel one solution to a problem. Certainly worth looking at and ultimately worth marketing. So we're excited about that opportunity. We're excited about the growth, future success of Big South football. We've had a lot of success in our short 15 years that we've been playing, and we're excited about the future.
Thank you, Kyle. Again, those who enter the questions at any time, press *1 on your phone or click the Q&A link at the top of the browser, click raise hand. Now, I'd like ASUN Commissioner Ted Gumbart. Ted, good morning. Joining us.
Thank you, Mark, and appreciate the opportunity to be on. And again, echo Kyle's comments about thanking everybody that's with us and covering Big South football. And I think everything Kyle said, I will just say ditto, that we're on the same page. Obviously, we wouldn't be partners if we didn't see things the same way. And again, thank all of the folks that had an assist in making this happen. In talking to some people about it, two of the questions that I've received, and just share the answers with everybody, is one, when did this idea come up? You know, where did it come from? And Kyle touched on the fact that we've been discussing this for probably 3 to 4 years under the terms of, are there things we can do together that will help us both? And so the thinking has been ongoing, and I don't think this is the start and end of where collaboration can be between member conferences. Some people may know that we're already partners in a swimming conference called the CCSA. So we really appreciate building this partnership. We intend to be long-term and strong supporters of it. And on behalf of the ASUN, we're just very proud that we now have a presence in the FCS world, that we're proud to be part of it. And thank you for welcoming us to the football enterprise at the FCS level. We're glad to be here.
Thank you, Ted. Now we'll move to questions for both individuals. The first individual on the docket, Damian Sordelet of the Lynchburg News Fan. Ted, Damian.
Morning, Kyle. Morning, Ted.
Morning, Damian.
Hey,
Kyle, this first question. When you're looking into this collaboration for expansion of the football conferences, did any teams, say in the ASUN or maybe someone like Campbell, do assurances that they would look into scholarship football down the line to make sure that going into this, that the footprint would start expanding?
There are no assurances and there are no requirements. What I will say about Campbell is that when we brought them into the Big South, we were very upfront in telling them, encourage them to take a strong look at scholarship football. We hope they will. That message to them about that possibility, but ultimately it will be Campbell's decision on whether or not that they want to make. So certainly no requirement. We hope they move that direction, but that will be a decision for Campbell's administration.
Thank you. And Ted, for you, North Florida, Florida Gulf Coast have looked at ability for football in the past. Is it now possible that those schools now look at football again, knowing that there is a home for them at the FCS level, and have spoken to football playing members of the conference that are currently with other affiliations and reassure them that this is a good way to go for stability, moving forward and with where the FCS is?
well, Damian, that's exactly what this is designed to address. Specifically, the UNF and FGCU situations. They've both looked at football and decided now is not the time. When and if they ever choose to do it, we've got a built-in solution. So whenever they look at those questions, and the state schools in Florida, generally they get up to 25,000 or so, and that becomes a normal evolutionary process for the institution. And now we've got a place where if that happens, they don't have to seek a new conference. So that's a great step in that manner. For the non-scholarship programs at Stetson and Jacksonville, we've seen programs that evolve and need a scholarship home. Neither of them have plans to do that in the immediate future, but it has been a discussion item that if there was an avenue or if they were looking at it, how would that work? I mean, would they have to leave our conference? And now the answer definitively is no. And then the possibility of other institutions being possible candidates for membership if we choose to expand, that adds that to the equation as well. And then also, first and foremost, we have a member in Big South football with Kennesaw State, and this is something that gives them protection, and it gives the Big South protection. So really, in a nutshell, it just came down to the fact that this was a good idea, and that's how we got 18 CEOs and ADs and 2 commissioners to agree to it. So I think all of that's possible. It has been addressed, but there's no specifics and no requirements.
Thank you, Ted. And Kyle, I have one more follow-up question.
Sure.
If a school like Monmouth that is close to the geographical footprint that currently has scholarship football and is looking for a potential new home, is that still an option for you for growing the conference?
Yes. We're certainly looking at any number of options to grow our football membership. So we're certainly not restricted to this partnership with ASUN. We could grow, whether it's additional full members that sponsor football or other associate members.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Ted.
Thanks.
Got it.
Thank you, Damian. And we're taking questions for Big South Commissioner Kyle Kallander as well as Ted Gumbart. Next one on the list is Evan Leffler of ESPN.
Commissioner Kallander, how are you? Quick
Hi,
question.
Evan. How are you?
My questions are often not a list. No, but I'm curious. Talk about Commissioner Gumbart. That's been a few years. I'm curious to inform us, about Dennis at a hotel lounge during the Final Four? I mean, there's a story behind the beginning of the conversation that you can share.
Well, gosh, I don't know, all the above. Ted's probably got better memory than I do when it first happened, but we have been having conversations for a long time. So I know that we've been at meetings together about different possibilities. We've met at neutral sites, so to speak. We've certainly talked on the phone. So I don't know what I could tell you a genesis. I think one thing I will say is that, you know, back when the conference realignment swirl was full force, that did create an environment in which I think pouring a lot of ideas, and so there was a lot of discussion right around that, and that's probably when a lot of the agenda took place. I can't remember any specific one discussion or phone call that took place, but certainly it's something that we talked about, and football was just one part of that. Ted, you may have some other recollections.
Well, hey, I think you're exactly right that it was an evolution, that we talked about a lot of things, and in fact, there's CCSA, our former swimming league, now the Coastal Collegiate Sports Association. We've talked about ways to collaborate on so many different things, and I think what made this work, in my mind, is simply that between the footprint of the institution, the approach of the two commissioners, and the type of schools and the students' first attitude that we take, it just made sense that we can preserve opportunity, and we don't want anything to go away as far as opportunities. So then you preserve them, said, how can we grow them? And that we both saw opportunity, and it evolves. That, hey, look, football is something that, you know, has come up, and we obviously talked about Kennesaw as an institution. So the pairing of conferences, again, I think it just kind of evolved out of it makes sense. So we're, you know, really just trying to do something that looks like common sense.
Yeah, one additional question for you both. You may reject the characterization that you are both lobbyists for conference at your commission, but I'm curious, what kind of things you do to try to lobby other schools, whether it's or a Jacksonville or a Stetson doesn't have scholarship football, to pursue scholarship football and make that. What's the selling point that you will offer them for this really beneficial to Big South in terms of expanding the league going forward?
Well, you know, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, it's up to those administrations to make decisions, but certainly we will provide information about the benefits of scholarship football and benefits of South football. You know, it's athletes, financial opportunities they have in scholarship football. It goes on to exposure they receive our television package. It is the fundraising opportunities they have through their scholarship football program. It's certainly available to private finance funding. So there's a lot of benefits, and I think if you look at Big South Conference football over certainly at least the past 5 to 7 years, you can see the benefits that are in through high level of success they've had scholarship football. The exposure Charleston Southern has received last by ESPN a couple of times, getting national exposure. You've seen certain Carolina they had. So I think you get that more so at the scholarship level than.
And I would say from the ASUN perspective, everything Kyle said, I believe, is right on target, that our job is to make strongest, most attractive home possible. So today's announcement makes it stronger. It makes it more flexible. It will increase, hopefully, the impact of the marketing because you've got another conference supporting it, and we make the Big South Conference more attractive for football membership scholarships and it provides more opportunities, that'll make the folks that are considering it take a second look. And if we need to talk to schools and explain why there's benefit to it, I think Kyle's hit all the highlights, and that's what we will do. So as far as a lobbyist, I think our primary role is to provide the best opportunity possible, make this the very attractive home that it is, and then people will want to make it a place to participate. That's what we envision. It's not going to be overnight, just like this agreement wasn't overnight, but it puts the framework in place that a lot of new things can happen, and that's just an exciting opportunity.
Good stuff. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Evan.
Thank you, Evan.
Got it.
All right, so I have a few more questions, a couple outlets. Next one is from Nick Pierce, Liberty Flame Sports Network. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, good morning, guys. First question for Ted. I guess Kyle had mentioned this earlier about encouraging Campbell to take a look at scholarship football. So, Ted, I'd ask the same thing of you. Have you encouraged some of your institutions that currently have football to take a look at scholarship football, and how was that received, if you have?
Well, not specifically where I've done any encouraging for them to do something. What we want to do is be able to handle every desire that our schools have. It's kind of like they're the school and we're serving their membership. So if it's adding beach volleyball or if it's adding women's lacrosse or providing support for football, we need to do what makes the best service possible to the membership. But specifically on the opportunities for football, I would tell you, for as long as I've been in the conference, and this is my 25th year, that football has been a topic of discussion. And football is something that's been an ongoing challenge in membership for our conference, that of people that have been in and moved on. We're very proud of the fact that the UCF used to be in our league, and they played football independently, and then they played football with the Mid-American Conference, and they moved on. And, yeah, now they're a school that has won the Fiesta Bowl. And we provided them some opportunities to help get there. But football is something we needed an answer to. Whether Jacksonville or Stetson actively look at scholarship or not, we had to have that avenue for them. Whether UNF and FGCU re-establish any studies, we needed an answer. And this provides that answer, which makes the building going forward a lot easier if that answer is already there. What would you do if we went scholarship? We've got that set. So I do think there'll be new consideration of things just because there's a built-in solution.
New consideration of things on the school's part, you mean?
Yes, I do believe that they'll look at it, if it's private or whether it's a public acknowledgement, that there's no doubt that they'll have fans and boosters that'll say, what does this mean to you? So it forces them to look at it and say, hey, now that we have a conference affiliation for football, is that something we would consider? Yes, they're all going to look at that question, no doubt.
One other follow-up I had was, it says here in the release that so long as the schools are based in a predetermined geographical footprint, spans the Mid-Atlantic, Southeast regions, I guess, could you be a little more specific to that, one or both of you?
Yeah, I'll take that. It really goes from Jersey down to Florida as far as the Atlantic coast goes. Of course, with Monmouth being in that Atlantic region, go over to Pennsylvania, and then into states, maybe one state over from the current footprint that comes a lot of with sun. So Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky. So that's roughly the graph.
Thanks, guys.
What that does, of course, is protects us from a travel standpoint, finance standpoint. We're very pleased and proud overall that certainly from a Big South perspective, we have a pretty tight geographic footprint. We don't want to follow the lead of a lot of conferences by going all over the country for our athletic.
All right, thank you, Nick. Final question from our media this morning is from John Denarski from the Marietta Daily Journal. Go ahead, John.
Good morning, gentlemen. Talked about getting 18 CEOs to sign off on this. You know, it's hard to get 2 people to agree where to eat lunch, let alone 18 people to agree to something like this. Would this, or could this in any way, shape, or form be considered a precursor to, if we combine forces, we've got 18 teams, we've got 3 others that might be considering joining football. What's the possibility of a merger of the 2 conferences?
Well, I think one of the beauties of this is that there's some innate protection of each conference with this kind of partnership. So I think it's in our student athletes' best interest to provide them the best opportunities they have for postseason access. So by keeping a separate conference, you have the potentially 2 automatic bids in whatever sport you're talking about. So if football was to grow, that could be looked at. But I think there's a lot of interest in trying to keep the brand of the separate conference, keep the opportunities of the separate conference. But by having this underlying partnership, it helps each conference be able to provide those opportunities.
Thank you.
And just one other thing, it was 19 presidents, just a small correction, because Monmouth was a signatory.
Nope, sorry.
No, that's great. And John, I'll tell you that exactly what Kyle said, just to be clear, that there's no ideas at all about merging. What we want to do is increase opportunity. And, people think about basketball, that right now we each have a bid, and that's what we want to preserve, and we want to add to that possibility. So how do we help each other in scheduling where an at-large is possible? How do we help, increase opportunity? And the fact that we're working together to do that for our schools and our student athletes, that's kind of the hidden story. It says, hey, they're working together for the good of the whole. That's what I think we're proudest of. The fact that this announcement's on football, hey, that's great. And but just the way we approach it, that's the thinking. So no, there wouldn't be a merger. We want to hopefully add enough football schools that, as Kyle said, if we had 12, then it's likely we would take a look at could we sponsor football in the ASUN and the Big South, and is there a way that there would be 2 opportunities? That may never happen, and we may never get there, but the thinking is that we help each other and that both of us have value as conferences, but that we're willing to work together to increase opportunity.
Anything further, John?
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I'm not seeing any more questions for you this morning, but I greatly appreciate your time sharing this exciting news with our constituents, our media covering Big South football. That will wrap up this morning's teleconference. The recording will be available for playback on BigSouthSports.com this afternoon. The announcement itself is already live on the site with another video segment to gather any more information. Once again, thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of the week. Talk to everyone today.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you all.